Welcome back to the How to Be a Redhead podcast. Today we're talking about something that almost every redhead experiences at some point in their lives: stereotypes.
From being sexualized just because of our hair color to hearing the backhanded compliment, "You're so pretty for a redhead," to the bigger question, why do redheads get so much hate for no reason? These issues come up a lot in Reddit conversations. We're going to share the themes, stories, insights from the community along with our own experiences today. If you are ever been tired of being reduced to your hair color, this episode's for you. So let's get right into it.
So the first conversation, it's titled, quote, "I'm so sick of men who sexualize me because I have red hair." And this Reddit person goes on to say, the fence guy just said to me, "I bet you have a lot of fun. I know what you redheads are like. I'm 58 years old. I like to eat out, play with my animals, and read. When does it stop? I keep waiting to be old and ugly enough that men stop seeing me as a sex-crazed woman on the prowl. And to be honest, I get it from wives too. They see me as a threat. Meanwhile, I've never so much as flirted with a married man. I'm attractive, not beautiful. I really think it's the hair. My fellow redheads, please tell me I'm not crazy and this happens to you too." Then they go on to say, "I have read most of the comments now, and here are some points." And the person goes on to share six, I guess, points in the comment section. Number one, this person shares, "We all get the carpet drapes comments, even the male gingers." Number two, "It starts young, usually about 10 or 12 years old." Number three, "Several people mention that redheads have a lower tolerance for pain." And that's absolutely true. We'll go into detail about that later on. Four, "Maybe our reputation for having a fiery temper comes from being annoyed and sexualized from the age of 12. Number five, "Yes, people treat blondes and brunettes badly too." And number six, "Rock on, fellow ginger snaps," end
Yeah.
quote. And we picked this topic because it's something we never really have talked about on
Mm.
our podcast. But really, it's redheads are often sexualized by strangers or people, whether it's in person or online. But what we've gathered from the comment section, like this person even shared, is many feeling frustration at not wanting the unwanted attention or
Yeah.
assumption
Yeah.
of being sexualized, and that it's a common experience among redheads, and sexualization reduces a person to their hair and ignores individuality. So it's very interesting. I don't know when it started, Adrian. Like, if you think about in history, I don't know if it was something back, if it happened. Did it happen with like actors and actresses who were redheads back in the day? I don't know. Or like,
Jessica Rabbit didn't help,
I think you're right.
Like, I think that
That's such a good point.
it's so complicated because being a woman, it's sometimes just a part of being a woman, but then I think that it
Yeah.
gets
But men were saying
enhanced with,
in the comment sections, I guess, that they too, which is very
wow, they too are
interesting.
sexualized.
Some people shared that. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Wow. I mean, it's something that we've never really talked about on How to Be a Redhead because it's so not positive,
yeah, I
you
hate
know?
that carpet comment. We
Yeah, like, we
never
don't talk
even
about that. We,
talk
like, take
about
it out
that.
of things. I just feel like it's not
Yeah.
a positive thing, so we try not to talk about it because it's not something that someone's gonna see on their algorithm or on their scrolling and think that that's something that's gonna boost their day, so we have always made a conscious effort not to talk about it. But it's such a real thing that redheads have to deal with, and I'll never forget the first time someone asked me that question, and I was so, like, naive and in high school and didn't know what that meant. I, like, honestly didn't even know what they were talking about, but I think that this woman is totally in the right to not like it. Like, I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what woman or
Like, who
man
wants to get
likes it.
catcalled, for example? Like,
No
no
one.
one, you know?
No one. But I do think men at some point think that we like it.
Yeah, I know. I
Like, this
remember
is a
when
PSA to all catcallers.
we
Don't do that.
don't. I know. I
To
remember
any
living in
woman, no matter her hair color, like, or men, like, just don't do that. We don't like it. I
I know. I
just,
remember living in New York City and having to strategically move to the opposite side of the
yeah,
road if I saw
yeah,
the opposite sex. Maybe I don't know what they were doing on the street, but if I saw them in a distance, I just moved across
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
I knew that I would get something. I remember even in college getting catcalled by there were guys on this bench and they were just catcalling all these girls walking by. And I was just
And,
like,
like, not one of those girls likes it. Like, no one
no one's
likes it.
stopping and being like, oh my God. People are giving
Yeah,
the eye roll or being like so totally grossed out.
yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. Honestly, it's
I like your question though, Steph, because you guys in these conversations, it's a real conversation as if
yeah.
Stephanie and I are sitting on the couch together. We have our phones out like we would anyway. And you have a really great question in our notes. How can we better call out this behavior and set boundaries when people cross the line? And I
Yeah,
think that that's a really great question because I think that that would solve things like actually saying, "Don't talk to me like that." But then you don't wanna be, you don't wanna be confrontational in so many ways to a complete stranger. But I think the best thing that anyone can do is ignore it. And I know that you heard it, and I know that it's something that you hear, but, like, if you can just ignore it and
yeah.
just move on with your day, I think that that's the best thing you can do instead of giving it any kind of energy.
I agree 1000%. They want a reaction, which I find so interesting that that's the reason why some people do what they do. But
I give a
yeah.
dirty look. I give a dirty look and dismiss it, but that's just my personality,
Mhm.
and I hope that they know that I don't find that cool,
Yeah.
like, to
Yeah.
do that. So I hope
Yeah.
that they're like, "Oh, wow, people are" but I even think they like that reaction, so maybe I should take my own advice.
Yeah. And then so this kind of goes into our second topic during this episode, and it's titled, quote, "You're pretty for a redhead." This person shares an experience. Quote, "I work in healthcare, so I come in contact with a lot of people for quick visits. I get a lot of, 'You're pretty' for a redhead. I'm always taken aback and have yet to figure out how to respond. I typically smile and move on, but I think it's supposed to be a compliment, but feels so insulting.
Mhm.
Anyone else got some good tips? I am compensated based partly on patient surveys, so I can't be aggressive, exclamation point, and then they end it, which
Okay.
when we saw this, to be honest, it's a topic I that is talked about in the redhead community. So we had to share it.
Mhm.
Compliments often come with a stereotype or an insult. I don't even know if that's considered a compliment though. You're pretty for a redhead. I almost think of it as
I've heard that so many times in my life.
you have?
So many times.
Oh my gosh, from
Countless,
who?
countless times. I remember actually talking about it with Andrew's sister, like, that she had heard about it too. I just feel like even in high school, people would say that to me. When in college, I actually remember after college, I was in Miami. We were at this, like, rooftop pool party, and a guy came up to me, and I don't think he was hitting on me at all, like, I was sitting with a friend, and he came up to me and was like, "You are so pretty for a redhead," and my friend goes, "Isn't she?" And, like,
So did you take
agreed.
that as as a compliment or an insult?
I mean, it's really, like, the bottom standard of being, like, you're an attractive person, but, like, it's really
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a compliment at
I
all.
think of it as an insult in my head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty, period, not because I'm a redhead as well. I think that they're insinuating, like, redheads are all not pretty, and then, like, you come along, and then they think that you're attractive and, like, you're a unicorn, but that's not the case at all. Like, all redheads are pretty, so or
Yeah,
handsome or whatever you wanna be described as.
and the community insight, with the comments were about kind of, redheads often hear it
Mhm.
regularly. Um, and then that reinforces negative perceptions. Many found the comments to be exhausting. And it does
It
imply
is.
to your point that redheads are usually less attractive. But yeah, it is considered an insult. I don't
Mhm.
know where the root of this backhanded comment came about. Again, if it's society, if
Right.
it was talked, I don't know if the history is maybe it was talked about in a movie, maybe I don't know if South Park touched upon it. I don't think they have, but someone started it and
Yeah.
then it's kind of just, yeah, become a thing. How do you think if someone's listening and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what should I do if I hear this?" what can redheads respond in the moment when someone says this? Like, how can we flip the script? Should they say something funny, empowering? Should they ignore it?
I mean, yeah,
Should they just
I would think like a good comeback would be something like, "I'm just pretty. It's not because I'm a redhead." Just
yeah,
or all redheads are pretty. I think definitely saying something
I have to totally
to
agree. Yes.
like make all redheads feel more empowered is the best thing you can do. I think just saying thanks is
Mhm.
not good enough.
Yeah.
You really should say something to let them know that you feel better about yourself than what they had to say about you.
Yeah, what do you think of some people mentioning that hearing this comment shaped their self-esteem growing up?
I don't blame them. I don't
Yeah.
blame them. I think that that is such a real thing that could happen because wow, I mean, if
Mhm.
you're told that you're pretty butt growing up, then I mean, that would make someone wanna dye their hair, change who they are because they're like, "Well, I wanna be told I'm pretty always, not because I have red hair." So I think
Yeah.
that that's really, really complicated if kids are being told that in school at a young age. I think that's very, very complicated and tough.
1000%.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
it's really, really hard. I don't like that. I don't like it when someone says you're pretty for a redhead.
yeah. And our last topic during this episode is about, redheads face bullying, teasing, or judgment for
Mhm,
seemingly no reason at all.
mhm.
And this person shared just a very quick, convo on a thread. Quote, "Why do redheads get so much hate for no reason? I thought red was the rarest hair color. Like, I would die for red hair." End quote. And it got a bunch of comments. I mean, from the over 600. And, it's interesting, when people say that, like, I would die for red hair. I wish I had red hair. Adrian, on our last episode, how you shared that person when you were getting your hair done wanted your hair color. But then, yeah, redheads do get picked on and bullied. Um, I think, and that the bullying can range from just like playground teasing to online harassment. I think from reading the comments, it was interesting. A lot of people reflect on like historical, cultural, or media based stereotype and how they often do get targeted simply because they are standing out. I think
I
that's where it
know,
comes
and
in.
I think that anyone who stands out can understand this. It's not just
Redheads. It's
redheads.
anyone
It's
who's different.
that's
Yeah.
different. I think that
Yeah.
I was actually reflecting on this the other day because when I was in high school and stuff, you dyed your hair blonde, right? So I think growing up as a redhead, like I really just always loved my hair color. I never wanted to dye it, but I do feel like I was different. Like I knew that
Mhm.
I was different in high school, but I also was, and I'm so happy I was aware of this. I was aware that those who bullied others or was making fun of others and they thought they were popular, that those kind of people who spread so much hate in high school, that was like their peak moment.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I thought to myself the other day, I was like, have I peaked? Like, when was my peak? And I was like, it might be right now. Like, it might be all of these years later, like 20 years later.
Yeah.
And so it just had me thinking that it's so funny how everyone's life is so different. But all I can tell you is that if you are a redhead and you're listening to this and you feel like you've been bullied and you've been teased, if you know that you're putting positivity out into that world, just know that like high
Mhm.
school isn't forever. These situations aren't forever. And then you're going to look back on your life. And if you keep being so positive about it, your life is going to end up the way that you want it to be. And then you're going to look back and be like, you're laughing at them for being mean. So
Definitely.
all I can say is if you have a positive attitude about yourself, about your life, even at a younger age, it will really help carry you through. And maybe I haven't even peaked yet. Maybe I'm gonna peak in my 40s. I don't know. But I just started thinking about how like anyone who's doing that, kind of have pity on them that they
Yeah.
aren't gonna go far in life with unless they change. And hopefully they do.
And now red hair's like trendy and celebrated
My
and
God. I hope that it's
especially
changed,
it is. I
but
think
I doubt it. I do feel like people still get singled out for being different.
and I think honestly, I think more bullying just happens in the younger years, which is unfortunate. Kids are
Yeah.
kids are mean, I think. And like, I don't
Yeah.
know what kids' home lives are to be bullies or what they're learning at home or if they're around people and then they bring that to school. I don't know. Or if it's something that they're dealing with, but it's something when a kid is in school and sees someone who's different, redhead or whatever,
Mhm. Mhm.
makes them different. Maybe they have glasses or braces or I don't know, height, anything. They're gonna get targeted because that bully is insecure, really. But yeah, I love your points. Just owning and loving who you are and knowing that red hair is trendy. It is celebrated. People like this person shared on um that brought up this conversation is that they said they would die for their red hair. I think so many people
I love that.
go to the salon, spend hundreds of dollars to try
Mhm.
to get red hair, and then here
Yep.
you are, like, born with it naturally. So, I think that's the reason why we created How to Be a Redhead, right? All in 2011, we wanted
Yeah.
a community for redheads to turn to. We wish we had How to Be a Redhead growing up for various reasons. Like my reason is so different from yours, Adrian. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
if I had How to Be a Redhead, I would not have dyed my hair blonde. I am
I
very
know.
confident in that. I think if I and social media wasn't a thing, and we didn't even have phones back then, so it was a different world. So I'm so thankful that we started How to Be a Redhead because we hear from so many redheads on a daily basis.
Mhm.
Moms, maybe, or even that redhead who's like really struggling. And it's so beautiful to be able to share advice and comments or email them directly or respond directly
Yeah.
through a message.
I wouldn't have
And
instant tanned. I wouldn't have
my gosh,
had all those eyebrow mistakes or, just a couple weeks ago it was National Brow Day and Stephanie shared like a bunch of photos on our bad brows growing up and I was like, wow, if I had to be a redhead and finally have brows products, I wouldn't have gone through all of those bad brow moments.
I know there's
But
one
that's
photo that
okay.
I share. I think it was at your wedding. My eyebrows look like dark brown. I'm like, "What was I thinking?" But I
I
just don't
know.
we had no products for us. So
I
it's like
know.
and then I think society, like, you go to a makeup counter, I remember one time, and she used a brown pencil. So I
Right.
thought leaving, just because I'm a redhead, I'm also supposed to wear a brown brow pencil, and that was not the shade that I looked at that photo and I was like, "What was I thinking?" I remember the product that I used on my brows, like, during your wedding and I don't know, it should have been more what our long-wearing brow gel is,
Yeah, yeah.
like,
Natural.
not taupe, not brown, not fire engine red, just, like, a beautiful auburn that suits all redheads. Yeah, and that's why, our community is support, validation, embracing identity beyond stereotypes.
Yeah, and I think like the message is to really find what gives you strength, like
Mhm.
what hobbies you really enjoy, what sports you really enjoy, family,
Definitely.
friends, and lean into that in those tough times. And it will give you the
Yeah.
strength and the positivity to just, live a life where maybe you never peak, like maybe you just like continue to just live this really positive life and just kind of always know that your differences are just so beautiful. And I know that
Mhm.
that's so cliche to say, but really, like, the more you can just dismiss other people's comments, the better off you are in life. Like, if you can just like feel like so powerful with who you are and love who you are, you're just going to go so far in life. So
Yeah, and
that's
you're awesome, everyone
and you're
listening.
awesome. It's always good to feel that you are awesome. So if you want to
Yes.
help us spread the news about the How to Be a Redhead brand in this podcast, give us a 5-star review and tell your friends, redheads, and everyone else to subscribe. You can listen to the podcast directly on howtobearedhead.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. And don't forget to look at the podcast notes to find links with products mentioned and so much more. And we will see you next Friday, redheads.
Yeah, rock
Rock
it.
it.